Welcome back to Professor Bet's Week 2 NFL picks. We're going to go ahead and kick it off. As you see here, we have 3 lines. We're probably going to use 2 of them heavily, one of them a little lighter. I've not quite decided that. We'll get to that a little bit later. We're going to go ahead and kick it off with the Bucs. The Bucs are going to be playing the Falcons. It's more about the Falcons than it is the Bucs. That's kind of the way I like it. You'll see the Falcons are over here. They are on our bottom tier teams. Last week they played the Eagles, and I had the Eagles as my last team in, my Falcons as the first team out. The Eagles answered a lot of questions correctly. I felt like the Falcons disappointed me. They're where I was hoping they wouldn't be on my bottom tier list here. The number for that game is minus 12.5. You might want to consider betting the under on that. We'll get a little bet together on unders there and just a little bit. But yeah, right now the Falcons are 12.5 point dogs. That brings us to our next ones, the Browns. That is the next 12.5 point dogs. They play the Texans. The Texans went ahead and beat the Jags. I said last week I was going to touch it. They're both on my bottom tier team list. I did not touch it. Those guys are going to have a very good comeback week after a brutal and very close loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. They had the chance to win it. It didn't work. Look for them to bounce back, become 1-1, and go on a little streak here. Next, we have the Rams. The Rams are going to be playing the Colts. That's a minus 3.5 game there. And that's an appropriate number, so I'm not too comfortable betting on that. And really what this is here is that the Colts got pretty beat up last week. The offensive line isn't what it's going to be. The Rams are coming and looking very, very good, especially at that week 1 performance. You'll see the payout here is plus 98. Now that is going to come at a very safe bet here. We have the Buccaneers, the Browns. As those both are red, that means those are my locks. I have a few more locks throughout, but those are my locks right there. That's a very safe bet. I feel very, very good. So normally the lock I say is 80 to 100%, and the blue, that would be the Rams. And pretty much everything else I bet will be between the 60 and 80%. So I feel very, very comfortable that the Rams can win. That's a plus 98. We have the Packers. The Packers, very disappointing week 1 versus Saints, 38-3. It was an utter showdown. Normally, the teams that I feel way underperformed are going to bounce back heavily in week 2, and they're doing it against the perfect team. The Detroit Lions have a 5-17 record against Aaron Rodgers all time. So look for that to be heavy. That's an 11-point dog. So Vegas sees it the same as we do. Go ahead. Bet on that. That's a safe bet here. Next, we have the Patriots. The Patriots are going to be playing the Jets. That's an in-division game. Not too worried about it just because Belichick does very, very well against younger quarterbacks. Also, as we have my bad down here. The Jets are on my bottom tier teams. I think this is going to be a very low scoring affair. I believe the over-under on points scored per the game is 42. I would heavily consider the under there. We're going to go through one bet with that later. Next, we have the Broncos. The Broncos are the last team that are going to be on this board. This last one is comprised from my favorites up there. So what we're looking at there, Broncos versus Jags. Jags are on my list. Broncos, very good game against the Panthers. Had some injuries. We're going to hope that does not affect the game there. I don't believe it shall. That's a 6-point favorites there. So I'm going to go through one last time. This last one, this is my favorite line right here. I'm just going to give it to you just because I've already went over all the teams. We have a 6-point favorite. We have an 11-point favorite. We have a 6-point favorite and a 12.5 favorite to round that out. That's at a plus 60. I feel very, very good about this. This is one I'm going to put a lot of good money on. I may put another strong bet for one of these other 2 lines here. I'm not sure which one. I will bet all 3 though in completion. So real quickly, I'm going to go over some unders. We have the Bucs and the Falcons once again at the minus 12.5. I think the Falcons have the firepower to keep it close. That might be something you want to look at. Next, we're going to look at the Patriots and the Jets under 42 points. And the last one is the Packers and the Lions. The Lions showed the ability to roar back versus the 49ers in week 1. Look for them to possibly be able to do the same there. It is a division game, so those are a lot more higher strung. Let's see what they got there. Now, if you plan to use or put any money on these picks, definitely let me know. If you felt like there was another line up here that should have been on the board, definitely get back to me. That's something I'm very interested in. Put it in the comments. I'll check it out.